Hi, welcome to Steve Chats Wrestling, hashtag SCW right here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Subscribe right now, leave any comments in the comment section, like and share the video while we're at it. This is Raw Revisited, a small review on Monday Night Raw. Going to give you the major talking points, the pros and cons in my opinion, what I liked and what I didn't like. I thought the show was watchable personally, but I didn't think it was anything spectacular. I thought really we could have had more with it being 6 days before the biggest event of the summer. I mean, this is one of the big 4 pay-per-views as well, so you know WWE wants to knock this one out of the park. Personally, for me, I just thought that it was lacking a little bit of something. I thought there was a couple of things that were done perhaps in order to make it feel more special, but for me, actually, I see them more of a negative rather than a positive. Now, first off, WWE doesn't plan for this, and we have to make note of it. Of course, the fan actually that was trying to attack Seth Rollins, an absolute idiot to be brutally honest. Why people continue to do this more recently, I'm not quite sure, but I mean, the security was there on hand to stop actually the fan getting to Seth Rollins, but he did get as far as getting into the ring, which does make you actually say that are security doing enough? Is there enough security, and are they on the ball enough? Because I mean, it only takes one time for this sort of thing to go wrong, and I know that perhaps you couldn't turn around and say, well, this is fully WWE's fault necessarily, and of course it's nothing to do with the show, but I mean, these things unfortunately sometimes do happen, and as much as we say like, oh, it shouldn't happen, it does happen, and these idiots need stopping, if brutal honesty. I mean, whether the security needs to be more alert around that front area of the guardrails, I'm not sure, but I thought Seth Rollins anyway, he didn't break the character once he knew that the guy had been detained by security, actually went to actually mock and say, is that the Demon King after all? Is that the Finn Balor that he'd been searching for in character all evening long? And almost laughed it off, really shrugged it off, and really actually handled it very well, because of course it's a very awkward, uncomfortable moment. Of course he could easily make someone break their character and break the mould of the show. So big props has to go to Seth Rollins for the way he handled himself during that segment. But going in actually into the actual show itself, of course this was Seth Rollins then looking for this Demon King of Finn Balor, saying he was going to call him out. And for me, we did get to see Finn Balor. He come out as the Demon King, and we see a slight sort of fisticuffs between the two. For me, I would have saved this till SummerSlam. For me, it kind of ruined it putting it on Raw, because now when we see it at SummerSlam, it's not going to be special for the casual fans that haven't seen it before. I also will say as well that personally for me, it's such an early stage into Finn Balor being in WWE, and not enough has happened really to really get the Demon King out, if we're being brutally honest. I mean, it's not like when we've had some real vicious feuds with Samoa Joe in NXT. This is kind of just almost the Universal Championship. It's almost like a tournament ender, and it's just really been a couple of verbal points on the microphone really. And for now we've had the Demon King come out here as Finn Balor's kind of alter ego, if you want. Now if Finn Balor doesn't win at SummerSlam, it's going to make him seem quite weak, because where are we going to go from here? Because he's brought the Demon King out from really just a few bit of verbal jabs from Seth Rollins, and if he comes in and loses when he's gone to this other level, it kind of makes you think that already he's not going to be on par with the man Seth Rollins. So for me, really, from a booking standpoint now, there only can be one winner, which is Finn Balor at SummerSlam. Now I'd like Finn Balor to win the match at SummerSlam, although I think that Seth Rollins would be either of them would be great champions going forward, but it certainly would be nice and would really stamp in that new era if Finn Balor was to be the guy. But I'm not 100% convinced at the moment if Finn is actually going to win or not. I will give my predictions for my SummerSlam preview towards the end of the week, so do look out, and I will then give a bold prediction of what way I think it will go. But if we're being brutally honest, if Finn Balor wants to look strong here, I think that he needs to win, particularly now we've got the Demon gimmick out as well already so early into his WWE career. I think they could have saved that for a later date, for a more heated and personal rivalry somewhere down the line. Maybe even if the feud with Seth Rollins continues down the line, maybe then it could have been brought out on that occasion. Looking then also into the rest of the show on Raw, I mean, we did get Rusev and Roman Reigns. Of course, we've got the match at SummerSlam anyway for the US Championship, but this match was just simply to defend Lana's honour. But I mean, to have the match again, like I said, we had a 20-minute match between Roman Reigns and Rusev, and that was the main event of Raw, closed the show out. The match was okay, but the thing is now, are we going to want to see the same thing again at SummerSlam? Probably not. So I'm hoping that SummerSlam we're going to get a different kind of match. Maybe not as long, because there were a lot of matches announced for SummerSlam. So maybe the match won't have the same amount of time. Maybe as well. I mean, people would assume that Roman Reigns is going to win the US title. I'm wondering if maybe we might get one of those moments where it's a bit of a false finish, maybe a count out or a DQ or something. That way Rusev can retain his US title, because I don't see Rusev winning as much as I'd like him to win. It really would put a stamp of intent going forward, but I think the Roman Reigns, of course he's lost in some of the big profile matches recently, but I don't see him losing in a mid-card title match. So I think that the best you can hope for at SummerSlam for something different would be the Rusev to actually get himself counted out or disqualified. The only other way, unfortunately, is we'll get a complete repeat, and then maybe you could say we've already seen it all before. So for me, a slight negative really looking at that on Raw, but let me know your feelings in the comments below. One of my real plus points though, what I really enjoyed, my favourite part of Raw, was actually Heath Slater, that's right, interrupting the Beast Brock Lesnar. And I tell you what, this storyline of the free agent with Heath Slater for me is really beginning to work. The fact that he's that desperate to get himself a contract with WWE in some form, if it's Raw or SmackDown, saying that he has to confront Brock Lesnar to do it, and Brock Lesnar to actually acknowledge and saying you've got balls and I respect you. It just kind of felt like Heath Slater was actually seen as a serious, credible person in the ring. Of course, he's lost to Rhino and Jinder Mahal on this route as well, and we knew he was going to get himself handed by Brock Lesnar, which eventually happened. Brock Lesnar, of course, giving him the suplexes and saying that he didn't give a shit about his children, excuse the language, but you know, literally, for me, it was a really good segment on Raw, and if you get a chance to check it back if you haven't seen it already, do make sure to check out that segment between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman promoting the match of Randy Orton at SummerSlam, and to get a couple of suplexes in there and an F5 as well on Heath Slater is a nice little touch as well, just to promote the match for SummerSlam as well, showing that Brock is in shape. And of course it does Heath Slater's storyline pretty good as well, and I think that if they can keep that going forward, then I think it could really work well for Heath Slater in the long run. One other thing from Raw that we can note then is another match announced for SummerSlam, Cesaro versus Sheamus. We're now going to have a best of 7 series. Now, we've had 2 matches already. Do we really want another 7? I'm not so sure, but hopefully it's going to be alright. Hopefully it won't be that bad. They have had some good matches so far, and hopefully Cesaro eventually will come out the victor. But will he win at SummerSlam? Time will tell. But let me know your feelings of Raw anyway in the comments below. Did you enjoy the show? Let me know your feelings on the bits that I've actually spoken about on this video as well. You've been watching Steve Chats Wrestling, #SCW on YouTube.com as always. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video, and make sure to subscribe. And look out, the SmackDown Live preview is coming on very shortly.